D'accord. Bonjour et bienvenue en France. So we've made it to France, south of France. It's currently blue sky. It's definitely way warmer than England. A lot warmer than England, especially when the sun's out. Okay, so we came 2 days ago, so this is 2 days later. Yesterday kind of had an unpack day. So far, the things that I've done is I've contacted Orange France to get myself a French phone number, which I need because then I can hopefully create a bank account and also get a rental. I'm in this Airbnb for quite a while, but basically it'll be until I get an actual rental. I'm not going to show you around because obviously I don't own it, and I won't show you around the area either. But today we're going to go over visa restrictions and things like that. But first, we're going to go and get ourselves some celebratory Canelé because they are the best things on the planet. And I've got some washing and things to do, which obviously I'm not going to show you. But let's go straight to the Canelé and then we will talk about visa restrictions and what visa I'm on and everything else. The whole plan. Hopefully you'll see this, well, you'll see this blue car go past because it's a proper old school French car. We shall see. How far is this thing? Have I actually gone the correct way? That's crazy. Okay, we'll catch this old school French car. Pretty sure that's an English number plate. It looks like a classic car English number plate to me. But okay. So this patisserie is rated higher than the other one, which is the other way. And then there's a huge patisserie by the supermarkets, but the one by the supermarkets is like it's got a worse rating as well, so I need to check see if I'm going the right way because this is long. Oh, actually, I think it's there. Okay. Interflora. The shop actually said Interflora on it. I thought they just used local people. Strange. Okay, that's the patisserie. Means I shall put you away, but you'll hear the recording. Okay, so that one didn't have Canelé, so we're now going to have to go to the worst rated one, unfortunately. I literally looked at Google Images to make sure there were pictures of Canelé in the display. And obviously there were, which is why I was like, okay, we'll go to the better one, but clearly not. Where is this other one? Between some... Oh, it's huge.
Merci madame. À bientôt. Bye bye. Bye bye. Bye bye. Au revoir. Au revoir. Au revoir mesdames.
Bonjour. Je voudrais un Canelé, s'il vous plaît.
Un quoi?
Un.
Oui, un.
Oui.
Un
Canelé.
Ah, un Canelé.
Oui.
Très bien, pardon. Bon, très bien. Je vais pas y aller ce matin. Allez, un Canelé.
Oui.
Alors, 1,50 €
Parfait.
s'il vous plaît, par carte.
Oui.
Tenez.
Ah, merci.
Impeccable.
Merci.
Vous voulez peut-être...
Merci beaucoup.
Voilà.
Bonne journée. Au revoir. Okay, so we successfully got one, but I was after two, but they look pretty dry compared to every other Canelé I've ever had, so I was like, we'll go with one. This may be, I mean, it's spongy, I can feel it, it's spongy, but it might be the worst Canelé I'm ever going to have. It certainly looks that way. Just looking at them in the display, I was like, that's a strangely dry looking Canelé. She didn't understand what I said to begin with, but the problem is like, I'd love to have banter with them, but I just have no idea what they're saying. She said something about, I don't know, being confused this morning or something, I don't know. But, yeah. The struggles of day 3 in France. I can't actually speak French, so I can't rapport with anyone. It's just the most basic French, and then when they start talking and you could respond to them and build a relationship, like, you just can't. Just completely ignore what they're saying, basically, because I have no idea what they're saying. Okay, so I got myself a knife and this Canelé from Petrine, which it doesn't say Petrine on the bag at all, so I don't know. Got a serviette and that. I'm gonna, how do I turn off face track? I have no idea. Ooh, that's not what I wanted. There we go. Alright, let's go down so you can see it. So these are my favourite things on the planet, but this isn't a normal looking one, okay? So don't judge it off this one. This looks hella dry, very, very dry. Let's see if we can zoom you in. That is a very dry looking Canelé. It's the correct shape, the bottom's bulged out. It's nice and spongy though, which is normal. So we're just going to cut into it. Okay. Well, the top of it's a bit crusted. Might be easier just to tear it. The inside looks pretty normal. Looks very Canelé-like. It's sticky. It does, I mean, that's not dry, but it just looks really dry. Like, that looks dry to me, but let's see, let's turn the selfie back on. Okay, well that should be good enough. So we're gonna try it, and this is gonna be a feature of the channel. We're gonna have some Canelé while we're here. It's pretty good. I can't lie, the inside's really nice. And the outside's just a bit more, what do you call it? More firm than usual, I think. These are made with rum. I had a French girlfriend in the past, and she made some. So I've seen how they're made. It's like rum, vanilla, sugar, obviously, to give it the outside, well, to give it structure, and the outside to have a bit of a crisp. What would I rate this in Canelé sense? Let's give it a 3. I mean, it's nice. I'm probably going to go buy another one at some point, depending on how much was it actually. Let's take that into account. How much was it? It was €1.50. That's very expensive for a Canelé, actually, I think. It was quite a large one, but not... I'm pretty sure that's pretty expensive for a Canelé, so... We're going to give it a 3, but the price, I feel like, would make it a 2.5. Okay, so this is the infamous whiteboard that I've been talking about. We're just going to note down a bunch of stuff. So my visa. So how the hell did I get here? From the last load of videos, it was a mess. It was an absolute mess. And the cause of that mess was my lawyers, which eventually we end up parting ways. So my lawyers sent me on a path that would never work for my situation. It wouldn't legally work for my situation. Why did I hire lawyers? Don't hire lawyers, just don't do it. Yeah, so they put me on the long stay visitor visa, which you can qualify for in multiple different situations, just not the situation that I was in. So obviously I wanted a year plus, which again adds a bunch of restrictions. And I was going with savings, which you can't really do. So you can qualify for that visa if you have an income from a foreign source that gives you SMIC, basically. Then you're gonna get it. So whether that's being retired and it's your pension, or you've got a business that's currently running in another country and sometimes you go back to it and back and forth, or completely working remotely for a business and you've got SMIC coming in. So none of that applies to my situation. So my lawyers are stupid, very, very stupid people. They're very nice people, but doesn't make them good at their job, unfortunately. So, where are we at? I obviously spoke about starting a business in a lot of the previous videos, and that is kind of the path that we've gone down, which you can actually tell from one of the most recent videos that talks about that. So, what have we got? We are on the entrepreneur. My God, that's longer than I was expecting it to be. Entrepreneur visa is what I'm on. Let me make sure that's in. Is that completely focused? Seems focused to me. It might be flipped. I'll flip it. So we're on this visa, and what does that mean? So that means I'm here to create a business, and that is the only thing that I can do. I spoke about applying for an approval from the Dreets previously from Nouvelle-Aquitaine, and the way that that works is there's actually areas inside the Nouvelle-Aquitaine Dreets, so it gets broken down into different regions. So I am the Gironde region, and they did my business. They approved it within 2 weeks, which is apparently stupidly fast. And from there, I went to the London consulate, or well, to TLS, so that I could apply to the London consulate for the visa. And I did that on August the 12th, and I got the visa on September the 2nd. So a long time waiting. There was also a point in that process where the consulate contacted me through the TLS platform asking for a certain surfer, which is a form that you have to fill out. It's a legal form. And TLS said that that surfer is not required, but because I got a brain and I know that TLS don't really know what they're talking about, I wrote on the note that was given to the consulate, TLS are saying this is not required. At which point, when the consulate got that, they emailed me directly with a link to the form that they wanted, which I then filled out and sent it back to them. And then I think literally the visa was issued on the day that I sent it back, or it might have been a day later. It must have been a day later because I did it at like 7 p.m. And then the following Monday, I got an email saying, your passport has been returned. And then on the Tuesday, I got the visa, which actually I thought I didn't get the visa because when I opened the letter, there was a piece of paper, but that piece of paper was telling me that I need to validate my visa online once I'm in France. But I thought that was no visa again. But we're here, we are in France, so there was a visa. Yeah, so we're on this entrepreneur visa. Now what does that mean? That means I need to make SMIC. So SMIC, this is minimum wage in France. I did not mean to draw the line through that, but anyway. This is minimum wage in France, and you have to make that after all business expenses, but before social taxes. So basically, keep your business expenses down as low as you possibly can, because you're going to be taken away from your earnings. If you make SMIC and spend SMIC, you've made nothing. Basically, that's how the system works. So that's a lot of fun. SMIC, I think at the moment is 21,000 euros. 21,000 euros is SMIC. So you have to have that in basically pure profit, which is difficult. It's not easy, considering right now I'm on day 3 of being in France. I don't have a long-term rental, which means I can't actually start the business. I've got some stuff coming in the post, so I'm ordering things for the business, but I can't even start it. So the stuff will get here and I can't do anything with it. And you have to apply to renew your visa like 3 months before the end of your visa. So if it takes you 3 months to get a long-term rental, and you have to reapply for your visa 3 months before the end of your visa, you've literally got 6 months to make SMIC, which is incredibly difficult. So this just got a whole lot harder. So that's why yesterday I sorted my French phone number. Today I'm looking at Crédit Agricole or Crédit Agricole, or however the French say it, which I can't open a bank account without a French phone number, which is where I'm currently at. I've got a big red thing on my screen saying, we need a French number. I'm like, okay, so everything's on pause until I get a French phone number right now. And then once I've got the bank account, I can transfer my money into that bank account. Then I can go to look for immobilier, so the estate agents, that's the word I was looking for, to try and get a rental. So that's how it's currently working. There's so many different things to do. And then once I've got a rental, I can obviously move my stuff into the rental, go back to England, get any extra stuff that I might need, bring that over. All of my stuff has been declared through customs, which you should have seen, hopefully. Yeah, so the situation's difficult. It's not easy. It's really not easy. But yeah, this is the situation. There's no changing it. So we have to make SMIC. We're on an entrepreneur visa, and right now the clock is ticking. And ultimately I've got 9 months. 9 months. And what's even worse is once you apply to renew your visa, if they reject the renewal, you have 30 days to leave. You have to leave within those 30 days. So you might only be in France for 9 months, even though you've got a completely even though you've got a visa that doesn't have an actual deadline. So the ultimate thing is, if I make esmic, I can stay. If I don't make esmic, I can't stay. And that's the thing. One other thing about this is you can make esmic all in 1 month if you really want. But it's up to the French government whether they accept that or not. Because they can not like that you've not made esmic for the first couple of months or the first 6 months or however long it takes, and they can see you as an unstable business and they'll kick you out anyway. So even better. So basically what we're going to have to do is we are going to have to buy in stock from somewhere else and start selling that stock while the plants go through tissue culture. So the ideal would be to get plants that are already in tissue culture. I'll just put tissue culture here for no reason, I just want to write it. So yeah, if we can get plants that are already in tissue culture, all of a sudden everything gets a lot easier. We can duplicate things, multiply things a lot faster. We can also pull some of those plants out of tissue culture, start the acclimation process. And as I said, we can also buy in plants at bulk, which I have some suppliers that I can get those plants from. But everything has to have, number one, everything has to be legal. Everything has to be legal. There cannot be anything that's dodgy. And in this space, in the plant world, there is so much illegal stuff going on. It is absolutely insane. The UK is full of illegal stuff. There's people doing things that will get them put in jail for like 6 years, and they're just doing it and thinking that it's fine. It's insane, okay? So you have to be really careful. Everything has to come with a plant passport in the EU, which is basically your phyto and all of that. If it comes with a plant passport, it's legal, and that's good. How you tell if it's a forged one or not, I don't know, but this is another thing that I have to sign up for and all of that. There's a lot of things that I have to do, but I just, I can't really, well, I can actually register the business using the head office address. So I just need to figure out whether it's worth it or not. Potentially it could be, but I'll have a look at it. I'm weighing up a couple of things at the minute, like the bank account and da-da-da-da-da. So I'm moving, probably not as fast as I'd like to. It's day 3, at least I got the French phone number out of the way. That was huge. So having that will unlock a ton of doors, but I'm waiting for it to come. It comes at some point next week. So we're getting there, but maybe not fast enough. I need to be as fast as possible. Like literally everything has to move super fast. I do not have extra money to do anything. I am budgeting everything. I get receipts for everything. Within these first 2 days, I've spent something like 400 euros or something, because you have to validate the visa, which is 200 euros. You have to do your shop, then there's all the toll payments coming all the way down for 6 hours. It all adds up real quick, but they're obviously pas typiques. They're not typical payments. So they're not things that you'll be paying for over and over and over again, but your weekly shop is. So making sure that you're figuring out your weekly shop and stuff and minusing that off. Obviously that expenditure is personal expenditure and doesn't go towards the business expenditure, which is a whole other thing. So yeah, there's a lot of things to do still. And the situation is complex, but manageable. And the big thing that terrifies the living S out of me is this dangerous word that makes everything. I can do everything correctly. I can absolutely bust my ass for this entire year. And if I don't get the sales, then I'm screwed. And that is terrifying because I don't speak fluent French. So, I mean, I'm very basic French. I can speak very, very basic French. Obviously, I'm now surrounded by French, which is why when I'm trying to think of words, I'm actually thinking of the French word before I think of the English word, which is good. I mean, that's a good trend, but yeah. That word terrifies me, absolutely terrifies me, because if I can't get the sales, that's a problem. That's the biggest problem. This and this are the two absolute must-haves, and they both tie in with each other, obviously, because the sales bring in the money, and the money has to add up to SMIC, and if it does that, we can stay. But this isn't like an enjoyable situation. It's not like I've come to France and I've got a job and everything's solid and it's just figuring out life. It's like I need to be super strict about everything and work every second of every day, and at the moment I can't, which is another problem, which is why I'm trying to move things as quickly as possible. So this isn't, I mean, this is enjoyable. I would say this is enjoyable, right? Not everyone, this is a privilege. Not everyone gets to do this sort of thing, right? I'm sure there's someone watching this that can't just completely drop their life, leave the country, go to another country and try to do a business. Like, this is definitely a privileged situation to be in, but it's not a nice situation. I would say it's enjoyable for someone like me, but there's a lot of people who would be stressing out of their mind, like completely losing it, trying to do this situation. It would be scary for a lot of people. But anyway, I've rambled for like 17 minutes, almost 18 minutes. Right, I think we're going to call this one here. I don't know if there's going to be anything else on this video. You should have seen the Canelé, which was quite nice. I gave it a 3 out of 5, but the price was pretty expensive, so 2.5 is about right. So yeah, that's where we're at.